I'm going to talk about the level of IPv6 capability that we're seeing from the ASs that are inside the economies that are members of the task force. It's kind of a mixed story because on one level, if you sort by the level of IPv6 capability, we actually have some amazing companies out there that are showing remarkably high levels of penetration. I mean, up at the 90 to 99% level. So on one hand, we can say they're doing really well. Unfortunately, that's not all of the story. By and large, it's the academic networks, the research institutions, and it's edge companies that are in the information services area rather than the ISPs. If you actually sort by the number of measurements that we see, which correlates very strongly with customers and eyeballs actually out there on the network doing things, the top set of people by volume, there's actually only one provider we can see in that set of 20 for the top economies that is active, and that's the former monopoly telco in Malaysia. And they're doing phenomenally well. They actually have a really good success story about building out. But that's kind of a worrying signal that the other main providers in the Asia-Pacific footprint, people who are ISPs in the task force economies, they just aren't deploying. There are some people in economies where they did very early adoption of broadband, and because of this, they've made a very large capital investment in technology. Because it was early, the technology isn't upgradable, so they have a really huge cost barrier to overcome. I think there's also some resistance to recapitalizing the network. We've gone through a number of economic downturns and people are not feeling like this is a time they want to make that kind of capital investment. And when you look at the options you're given when you're considering a network upgrade, 6 is on there, but it's often an optional element. And it's very attractive to say, you know, we're going to do the core set. These other things, we'll put them to one side. So I think the reluctance is just a reflection of economic realities. But having said that, there are some providers in region who are making moves here. There's a telco in Korea that have done a very significant deployment. It doesn't show up quite so well in our statistics for a measurement reason, but actually they're really doing quite well. And there are also providers in Japan who are exploring this space and in Australia. So there are strong signs, but it's not overall a strong signal. We're going to have to work harder on identifying the key people to speak to. I think the critical mass of the conversation is quite good. We have a lot of people who are interested in the topic, and we've got a lot of consistency in behaviour, and we have task forces in different countries who are discussing the problem, but they haven't yet broken through to talking directly with the people who could be influential in the volume customer service provision. And I think that's the real next step. We have to get beyond the community that come into this circuit to talk and start reaching out to the other providers.